Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, this is the celebration of Yule. It's December 21st when this video goes up, and it's the winter solstice. It's the shortest day of the solar year, and it also means it's the longest night. After this night, the days become longer, the nights become shorter. Traditionally, if we go back pre-Christian, it is the rebirth of the sun god, the solar god, that has descended into the underworld in the autumn. And the way I see it, he went in and saw Wayne. Others have him going in Mabon, or usually it's Mabon. Anyway, in the ancient time, this was a time when the goddess would birth the god back into the human world from the underworld. This is ending the period of quietness and retreat from Samhain to Yule. It's generally seen as a quiet period. You're tying some stuff up, but you're not planting, you're not harvesting. It's just kind of a quiet time of the year. And in the United States, they have Thanksgiving in the middle of that, and that's also that period is showing gratitude for the year before. But now we're on the eve of Yule, the day of Yule, and this is where we get into life returning to the world. Yes, it's still winter. That's this doesn't mean that the sun is not coming back. So, during Yule, gifts were often exchanged in celebration that the sun had returned. It was a time where the sun and the moon ruled a great deal of everyone's lives. It wasn't like today where we have electric lights, like the one I've got all around me here. It was the days of candles, and it was the days of what the sun did, what the moon did. That's kind of dictated what your life was for a significant period of time. There were other lights out there, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the life was dictated by the sun and the moon. And so when the sun started to shrink in the fall, it was, that not so much concern, but here's the cold times. Here's that part where we're going to have to eat almost exclusively from what we saved up. Did we save enough? Is this going to be a, skinny winter? Or is this going to be a more comfortable one? But these were all things that went through people's heads when you had to focus more on not going to the supermarket, what you could raise and harvest yourself. So the sun returning to warm and save us from the darkness was and still is a very strong theme amongst our elders, and even with the rise of Christianity, they couldn't really take away the practice, so they put their own holiday on top of it. And that's literally what happened in a lot of ways, but we're not going into all that. The Son of God, S-O-N, returned in, wasn't really December if you go by tradition, but that's what they changed it to tie the two celebrations together. So that's where we ended up with Christmas on the 25th and Yule on the 21st. Yule was there beforehand, but we added another one. So many of the ways that we celebrate the celebration of Yule don't really change that much from back in the day to now. There's been a few alterations, a few technological advances, you might say, like the yummy rolled cakes that we have today came from a tradition of the Yule log, which could be a cake, or it could actually be a log, depending on which tradition you follow, or both, depending. But these were things that were done specifically at this time of the year. You would have very specific regional things that only were allowed to be had, sweets and such, at the Yule celebrations. And that is something we do today. I mean, really, if you think about it, if you live in a smaller community, generally is where this happens, you still do that one time of the year where you drag out all of the cooking supplies. You go buy an extra, 25-pound bag of sugar. You buy a bunch of 50 pounds of flour, and you drag out all your pots and pans. What do? You're making divinity. You're making fudge. You're doing caramel. You're making pumpkin rolls, caramel rolls, jelly rolls of who knows how many varieties. You're doing the unique breads, the German stolons, the fruit cakes, all of this stuff. that's only done at this time of year. So we still do the same thing today, where we only have certain foods at this time of the year. Even in like United States, they have Thanksgiving and such, but Yule has its own entire set of extras. And that's a lot of this goes back to the old days where this was a celebration of life returning. It was a way to be joyful and bring that joy back into our lives. So you'd have some extra stuff at that time. So that's, it's good. It goes back far enough to be special in my mind. One of the other traditions that it's kind of fallen off in the last few years. It's not as common as it used to be, and that is wassailing. Today we call it caroling, but in the old days they would sing in the cold orchards to encourage the trees to produce fruit for food and wine. You would also make what was called a wassail. Today we call it spiced ale or spiced wine. You can also do spiced cider, still within the theme. But you would take your wassail and you would go around to your neighborhood after you sang in the forests to get the trees to produce and the ground to be encouraged, like it's just winter, we'll come back for you type of thing. And you shared your drinks with your neighbors. They would offer, sometimes the neighbors would offer drinks, it was food, little gifts, but it was a way to celebrate the season. And it was maybe not as common as people would think, but it was something that was done within small communities to encourage each other, to bring back that joy, and to let everyone know that winter was not going to last. The days were going to start getting longer. Whether that was a conscious thought or not, that's up for you to decide. But the reality of it is, we do things now to remind ourselves that winter is not eternal, thankfully. In the old times, primarily with the Celts, at least this is where I found it the most, they believed that the evergreen trees were a symbol of immortality, since they didn't die as deciduous trees do in the winter. The Druids believed that decorating an evergreen was a way to bring wishes into the next year. Fruit for abundance, coins for prosperity, nuts for fertility, things along those lines. Well, today, we don't generally hang apples or oranges off of our trees, but we do string popcorn with cranberries on fishing line or whatever, and you'd string that on your tree. You'd have your garland, your gold, silver, red, blue, green, whatever other colors there are, of your garlands to hang around, and that was a symbols of prosperity. Way back in the day, they had this obnoxious stuff called tinsel, and that was another one. It was just these strings of plastic that was shiny and metallic, and you'd hang it all over your tree, and then you'd be cleaning it out of your carpet until May. But these were also symbols that we could use today for symbols of fertility. The nuts and assorted grains that you could use for the fertility aspect, you can use like the little baubles, you can fill them, which are really cool when you get crafty. Take the clear glass balls and you fill them with things that you're wanting to bring into your life. And today you can paint them, you can put symbols on them, you can put words on them. And as you hang them up, think about what it is you're putting up there. What are you putting out into the universe? You're hanging it on this tree, which is a symbol of immortality, so you're setting yourself up in the future for something great to come in. Are you commemorating a new birth? Are you commemorating a new relationship? Are you wanting to bring that new baby in? So you put symbols of masculine, feminine, however you want to see that on the hanging baubles. But do things like that so that your Christmas tree is not just pretty, there's meaning behind it. And that's what some of the lore says that they used to do. Hanging things like holly and mistletoe around the house, it was a way to invite the blessings of the fairies. And the fairies were a big thing in those parts of Europe, because if you didn't appease them, or at least make them see, we're being nice, so you be nice to us, things could get a little rough. So you were trying to, garner their good favor with the fairies and the elemental spirits. And candles were big parts of that. Candles were symbols of the sun. They were a way to drive back the darkness, and it was a way to remind everyone else that there was hope returning to the world, that the sun is going to come back. And it gives you a hope for a better tomorrow. And it sounds cheesy, but it's a lot better than the electric lights. The electric lights are pretty, don't get me wrong, they're great to have on your trees, but even the electric candles make a nice display in windows, because that's what their purpose is to bring forth that spirit of joy and that reminder of hope. But when you're doing your altar, if you're sitting down to dinner, having the live candles, there's something special about that, and it changes how you look at the holiday. So at least have, one lit candle somewhere on the table so that you can, keep it safe, but also have that representation that the sun is not gone. It's coming back. You can use that in the religious church version, or just the literal part, the sun's not gone, it's going to come back, days are going to get longer. But it's a good reminder of what that means. Sun, flames, fire, candles, it's all there together. Another thing you can do if you are interested in that, and this one is, to me, a really good opportunity to give back a little bit to nature as well. Instead of chopping down the tree, you can do that too, which, don't get me wrong, there's so much fun in that, especially when you truck through the snow in the middle of the day and you're out there sweating but cold at the same time. There's just something very raw about that. But you can get a live tree in a little pot, little Christmas tree or some kind of tree that you can plant on your property come springtime, and that's actually a way to remind yourself of the continuity of life, because you have this in your house, you got to know the dryad that may be living within, and then when you go to plant it outside, you plant your hopes, your dreams, your goals with the tree. That way it can, as it grows, so do your dreams, so do your goals, so do the things that you wanted to manifest. It's a way to spread joy and hope throughout the year, and then the next Christmas you have a new tree outside, you don't have to cut it down, you can just go decorate it. And that one can be one you decorate with like peanuts and stuff like that for the neighborhood critters. But there's different things like that you can do. And I did see recently, cruising around on the internet, that there are some places in various parts of the world where you can do rent a tree. Well, they'll put the tree in a big pot, bring it to your house, set it where you want it. You decorate it, keep it alive, then they come and get it at the week after Christmas and put it back in the ground, so it keeps being reused. It's a living tree. And I think it said, one of the websites I was reading said that after 7 years, then they plant the tree out in the forest so that it can, because it's getting too big at that point to keep moving it around. But that's another way to really give back. So it's not just cutting down the tree, you're actually using the tree, sharing the tree, but then you're returning it as well back to its purpose. So there's a lot of fun ways you can look at the Yule season. Giving gifts is one of them, but you can also do things like donate time. If there's a soup kitchen, you can go there. One that seems to be forgotten, and I'm seeing a lot more of this starting to kick up finally, is going down to volunteer at maybe the local I'm going to be on PC, the old folks home, because those are places where a lot of these people, they're kind of the forgotten ones, but they are the reason that we're here. So there's little things. I've seen some senior center gift bags that people have started doing, and boxes where they'll put like a soap, towels, a little letter that somebody wrote. At least they're not being forgotten type thing. So these are different ways you can benefit, work with, and help. Remember what the purpose is. We are here to celebrate life returning. That doesn't mean we get to forget the life that went before us. It's a happy holiday. This is a big celebration, very much full of joy. With that being said, share your joy. Share your gifts with other people. I know in today's world, giving food gifts is not always easy, but you can give time. You can go to the soup kitchens. You can do things like that. And with that, as chaos is erupting around for the holidays, the message of Yule is show compassion. Give a smile. Yeah, that person that cut you off on traffic might drive you nuts, but don't respond in the negative. what you set up during this time period between around Yule, and Yule can be 1 day or 5 days or however long you want to celebrate for this month. But with the energy of Yule, you're setting things in motion. You want to set the good things. You want to set that joy. You want to set that happiness. So focus on that person cut you off. Pray for them. That's an easy way to do it. You're not getting mad just being like, I don't know what they're going through. Dear Lord and Lady, please help them get to their destination safely. Help them figure out what's going on. I'm just going to be a little bit slower with my driving to avoid that. If you're in a checkout line, it might take a couple extra minutes. Find something fun to do. Scroll your phone looking for funnies. Read a headline on a newspaper that's kind of a chuckle. Find reasons to be joyful and happy and spread that. That's so important during this time of the year. Winter is long. Winter is, especially in the north, it's cold. Not everyone wants to go out skiing and snowboarding. It's not something that a lot of people are, they want to be out and be in the cold. So it can get a little rough. This is where we just have to remind ourselves, it's time to be kind. It's time to be gentle. It's a good time to be indoors. It's a good time to start a crafting circle or something like that. But really tap into the energy of Yule, which is gifting, giving, not so much gifting physical stuff, but giving of time, giving of energy. Simple things like a smile go a long ways for a lot of people. Do stuff to bring joy to yourself and to others as we go through this season. Remember, the gift of the sun returning is the gift of life coming back to the world. Darkness has been conquered. Death has been conquered. We don't have to be fearful of the future because there's hope for that future coming back with the sun returning. So, those are some thoughts on Yule. We'll do a little guided meditation healing here, and then go celebrate, have fun, drink eggnog, do all the things. Just stay safe and smile as you go through your next week or so. And if the kids are home, get them involved in the fun stuff, even if it's charity work. Help them understand how much fun this can be and why we do it. It's not because, I must look good to the neighbors. No one cares. You're not doing this for the neighbors. You're doing this because it's what brings joy to your heart. And that's the focus of this season, is building joy within and allowing it to overflow and spread to the world around. So, with that, we'll go ahead and bring ourselves into a quiet state. If you're driving or operating machinery or anything like that as you listen to any of these online, mine or anyone else's, save this part for later. But if you are in a comfortable spot, allow yourself to rest. You can have your eyes open or closed as we go through. Just take a deep breath and relax. Allow the stress of the day to flow out with your exhale. Take a deep breath in, breathing in, filling your belly, spreading light through your body. Exhale, bringing your attention to this now moment. Take a deep breath in, breathing in vibrant red and gold light, filling your belly and your body. Exhale, releasing any stress, any tension, anything from work. Allow it to flow out with your breath. Take another nice deep breath in, breathing in that vibrant white and the hint of silver. Exhale, allowing your shoulders to drop, settling deeper into the chair you're sitting in. Take one more deep breath in, bringing yourself into this deep, relaxed state. Exhale, bring your focus, your attention to the center of your mind, the center of your forehead. Once your attention is there, allow your body to continue the deep breathing. See a great oak door coming in as we clear the negative energy away from the day. That great oak door swings quietly open, and you step out onto a snowy, cold plain. You see candles lining a pathway going in towards the stone circles. Through the great stone archway, you step into the warmth. There's bonfires all around. People you know are scattered about. You feel joy. You feel happiness. You also feel hope as you walk amongst the crowd, finding friends, saying hello to loved ones. In the very center of the circle stands a massive evergreen tree. Blue spruce, fir, whichever version you like. That's the tree that stands. The atmosphere within the circle is very joyous. That feeling of rose quartz opening your heart, allowing your soul to feel just joy and peace. The chattering around the bonfires fills you with happiness and memories of the good old days, and the good future days as well. There's tables filled with food, with sweets, cauldrons of warm spiced drinks, summer spiced mead, spiced apple cider, mulled wine, whichever it is you choose to drink, they're everywhere. The night above you is dark, and you feel this healing rose quartz energy filling you, keeping that hope and that joy alive within, even though outside the circle there's so much quiet, chilly darkness. The moon sits high in the sky. The stars around are twinkling. You feel the elder gods and goddesses approaching, coming in from the heavens, flowing towards you, towards the circle. There's anticipation within the air. Something is happening, something is coming. The goddess comes into the circle, being pulled by reindeer in a sleigh. She's very much pregnant. The mother goddess of all is full and ready to give birth, bringing the sun back into the world. A hush falls across the group as the goddess cries out. All creation, the animals, the people, even the fire, quiets and waits. The firelights begin to dim as she pushes. The sweat on her forehead shows the strain and the stress as the darkness starts to creep into the circle. The goddess takes a deep breath in. One last mighty push. And a light so brilliant bursts into the scene, bringing forth cries of joy from all parties. The solar lord, the lord of all, has been reborn, returning to the land of the living. The fires roar to life. The candles burn brighter than ever, driving back the darkness. The tension from the previous time breaks, and cheers erupt from the crowd. You feel alive, your heart opens. You feel more vibrant than you ever have. The young baby being cleaned by one of the other goddesses, cloaked in light, and you now know that the darkness has been defeated for another year. Hope in all forms has returned to the world. Various languages begin to break into song. The gods and goddesses of old and new raise their voices. A song bursts from your lips. A song with no words, but all the feeling of the universe. You sing from the heart. You sing for the joy, the returning of the light and the Lord. The young God has returned to us, saving us from the cold, the dark, and the empty, bringing life back into the world. The mother goddess of all rests in her sleigh, the young Lord swaddled in her arms. The lady rests, and the goddesses take care of all her needs. During this time, you feel very strongly that the next year is going to be an amazing year. Aquamarine helps you to see clearly and bring forth the manifestations you want. You're filled with joy. You're filled with hope. You're filled with excitement. What is it that you want to bring forward into this year? Opening your heart, opening the chakras, allow yourself to feel that joy. Be filled up with the returning sun. Allow this energy to fill every inch of your body. The solar god has returned. Darkness has been conquered for another year. How do you celebrate? What do you manifest? The sleigh with the lady slowly leaves out the eastern gate, and all of the gods and goddesses return to their homes. The circle feels less full but still warm, but you feel that tug that it's time to return. You bid farewell to those that you have been speaking with and friends with, and you leave through the gate, walking back across the snowy plains along the candlelit path. Within you carry the solar light, that joy and hope for the new year. Stepping back through the great oak door into the center of your mind, the door swings slowly closed, and you still carry that brightness, that joy, that warmth that radiates from all chakras, bringing you into higher and higher states. Taking a deep breath in, you settle back into the fullness of time, of now. Exhaling, on your breath, you release light. Inhale, feel that golden light flame brighter within. Exhaling, feeling your body, wiggling your toes and fingers, bringing your awareness back into this moment. Taking another deep breath in, feeling that light flame brighter with every inhale. Exhale, allow yourself to come back to the waking world, feeling at peace, feeling joy, feeling hope for the new day, the new year. Inspiration flows through you. What do you choose to create with this newfound energy? What do you create with the new version of life that has been gifted? Merry meet, merry part, until we merry meet again. Blessings of Yule on you and yours.